You are now listening to the Carlifetsyle Podcast.
With host
Seth Rose from Exotics Rally.
Elizabeth White from It's White Noise.
Carlifetsyle.
And we are back in the Carlifetsyle Podcast in the Aria Suite with our gracious host from Snowball Rally. And our next guest is Ryan from Protective Film Solutions. Ryan, thank you and welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So we just got to chat with Ryan a little bit, but we're going to get back into the deepness of it. So, Ryan, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from the Midwest. I'm from South Dakota.
Wow.
Whoa, I was
Yeah.
just in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Deadwood.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
I'm originally from Huron. Most of my family is from Sioux Falls.
Cool.
So,
And you own Protective Film Solutions?
I started Protective Film Solutions back in 2001 over in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay.
And we've kind of grown up since then. I still have that original location with my original people there. And about 7 years ago, we opened up kind of our big shop in Southern California, down in Orange County. And a year and a half ago, we opened up our third location in San Diego. So we kind of, California became a 300-pound gorilla we had to tackle.
Yeah, I mean, well, California is the mecca.
It is the mecca for cars.
The weather is perfect all year round, more or less. You've got a huge influx of a lot of different nationalities that are all into, high-end luxury and exotic cars. It is the mecca of rental car companies for high-end and luxury cars. There are more dealers out there than anywhere else. I mean, it's also a huge state.
Yeah, it's a huge state, and what we find, especially down in Southern California, is just what you said, and we target exotics. I mean, I don't go after, and I don't ever knock it because I have a BMW M4, but
Right.
to us, a BMW is considered what we call a normal or a daily driver.
Correct. It's a mainstream car.
It's a mainstream.
And I say it all the time. As a kid, when you had if somebody had a BMW or Mercedes, that was a luxury car. But now it's taken it back. It's gotten way back to now having a luxury car is really a Rolls or a Bentley.
It is, yeah.
Maserati, something like that.
Mhm.
And back when I was a kid, and I don't know how old you are, but I shared myself, so I'm 44 years old. And
I have you beat. We'll just say that.
So you understand that when we were kids, if you had a Lamborghini, you were of royalty.
Did you or did you not have the
Have the
Lamborghini
poster.
Countach
Of course.
poster above your bed with probably, see who would have been on the poster? We're about the same
Kelly
age.
Brock.
That or Pamela Anderson
Of
in
course.
her red Baywatch her swimsuit.
But now we also go back to the famous poster. But now they don't even sell posters anymore.
Nope.
Okay, so
What's
now
a
it's like digital
poster?
picture frames. So, what's a poster? Shut up. So I, of course, had the poster, justification for higher education.
Yep.
Which was a 4-car garage.
Right.
Which had a Porsche Turbo. I believe it had a Corvette. It had a Lotus Esprit. And I believe
I think it had the Countach. I think it had the Countach, and it had the ass. It had the ass shots of all 4 cars. It was the classic. This is why
Right.
I need to be able to be at a certain level because that needs to be my garage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's rewind a little, and why don't you give us a little history of how you got into the automotive industry? I mean, you were born and raised in, you said, in South Dakota?
Yeah, I was.
And that's really not a hub of exotic cars.
This is how far it came. I mean, when I graduated from high school, I graduated on a Friday. Monday morning, I left for the Air Force for basic training. I spent 10 years in the military, got out of the military, was in computers, grew that, sold that company, and I was literally just visiting my parents down in Fort Myers, Florida, and I was joking with my father about, what is that film? What do you have on the front of your car?
What kind of car was it?
It was just, they were snowbirds. They were retired. It was a pickup truck that he towed their 5th wheel.
Wow.
And he goes, well, I figured you and your fancy friends in Phoenix would have this on your exotics. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, oh, it keeps the rock chips off the cars. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So at that point, I was good friends with, or actually a very good buddy of mine was the president of the Ferrari Club. back in Phoenix. So I literally walk outside of the trailer and I call him. I go, hey, have you ever heard of this product?
What is this product?
And he goes, Ryan, he goes, you've seen it. I have it on the front of my 348. I go, you have? And he goes, see what I mean? You can't see it. I was like, well, who else does it? The guy that was doing it here kind of flaked. He disappeared. We don't have anybody here. I'm like,
Ding, ding, ding.
I was like, was it expensive? And he goes, well, it was actually very expensive. And I go, well, so I explained to him what I was looking at down here. He goes, you know what, if you decide to get into it, you let me know and I'm going to help you. You know, I'm the president of the Ferrari Club and I have friends that are in the Lamborghini Club and the Corvette Club.
Which that always helps.
Yep, and I said, you know what, so I think about it. So I went down in downtown Fort Myers, Florida to, at that point, it was called Ultra Shield. It was a franchise model.
Right.
So I went down and I talked to the owner of it, explained to him, you know, listen, I'm a car guy, I love the cars. And he goes, where are you from? I said, I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona. He goes, stop right there. If you will open up a shop in Scottsdale, I will waive the franchise fee. I will train you for free. I want you to have a shop in Scottsdale.
Talk about being in the right place, in the
Right place,
time,
right
people.
time.
I mean,
You literally, the
perfect
planets
storm.
aligned. I should have bought a lottery ticket.
You
And-
could have not spoken
kinda
English.
did.
Like,
It wouldn't have mattered. He was
kinda
like
did by a
Scottsdale.
lot.
Four fingers.
Yeah, he was like drooling. So I got back to Scottsdale and we were talking.
Scottsdale has grown.
Scottsdale, at that point,
Yeah.
Scottsdale was kind of the mecca at the point because every other car you'd see down in Old Town Scottsdale was the Ferraris and the Porsches and the Lambos and all
Can
that.
I just tell you,
Yeah.
about 15 years ago, that's where I saw my first McLaren F1 in Scottsdale. I
What
walked
color
out-
was it?
Orange. I
Actually,
walked outside.
I know the owner.
I have a picture of it. I've kept the picture forever. It was the first time I saw a McLaren F1. I walked outside, I was with my parents, walked outside of a restaurant, and I was like, holy shit, bird.
And that's the holy grail.
It's an
Yeah.
F1. I'm like, there's no way this is just sitting here. Like, we're in the middle of the freaking desert. Like, what the hell is this? And back then, it really wasn't the Holy Grail because it wasn't what it is today. Today, it's like a $9 million car. Back then, it was still probably about a $700,000 car.
But 15 years ago,
And that was unheard of. You know, Lamborghini was, you know, $168,000, and that was ridiculous.
Yep.
So, yeah, so I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's what I found there. But it's grown by leaps and bounds.
Yeah,
in Scottsdale.
yeah, it went crazy, and when we figured out that, you know, listen, this could be something. I'm a computer geek. I'm a total nerd, but so the cars, doing something with cars was literally out of my comfort zone. And with my friends there, they're like, "Don't worry about it. We got your back.
Right.
We'll help you get going." So, the first 15 cars I did was 10 Ferraris, 5 Lamborghinis.
Oh, nice.
Nothing like testing it out.
That's
Testing
where
the
you're
waters.
going. That's where you're jumping into a pool with cement boots, and let's hope you can swim. And it was, and from that point we never looked back.
And a lot of
that
people
was-
don't know about the industry so much, but I do because I have a
Mhm.
history with it.
Yep.
Back then, there really wasn't much pre-cut or anything
No.
like that because plotters weren't around.
The film
The
sucked.
templates weren't around. The film was horrible.
Yeah.
It was Orange Peel City,
And
and there were a
the
lot
film
of,
was like stretching a piece of cardboard.
yeah. It
Yeah,
was
so you
very
had
thick.
you had to be very creative. So that the Ultra Shield, the trainer from Florida, we worked out a deal where he came out and he spent a couple weeks with us, and he kind of held me by the hand as we went through all of these cars. So we developed a very good name right out of the gate. Where, well, if you want to take your exotic, go talk to Ryan.
Right.
So, literally, you know, we fall back to the planets align. It's no joke. If I would have been a week earlier, a month earlier, a month later, I may not be where I am right now. I mean,
Thank God for your father.
you think
Yeah, that truck saved.
that trucks and as the company grew, you know, my dad didn't. Well, I'll make this right. My dad had died of pancreatic cancer before the company had actually got to be where it is now. So my mother still gets to see it. My mom comes out for car shows. I take her for rides in my cars, and I turn off traction control in the McLaren. I'm burning out everywhere we can, doing donuts with her. She's 80 years old and absolutely loves it. Yells, screams, and has her camera and videos everything.
That's cool.
And shows the great grandkids of what I'm doing to her in her car.
So so you said you have Scottsdale and you have what, 2 locations in California right now?
Yep. So I have 2. I have my original location in Scottsdale, Arizona. I have our big location in Orange County. And almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we opened up a shop in San Diego. So we've got about, between all 3 shops, about 25 employees.
Cool. So you were saying that most of your cars are exotics that you work on?
Yes, yeah, most of them are exotics, and when we say we target the exotic market, if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, we post most of the pictures of the crazy cars, because any business, that's what draws in.
It attracts it all, sure.
It's an attraction. It's
Yeah,
basically,
it's
that's our advertising, is if I have a Pagani Huayra in here and we're doing a full body clear bra on the car, and you're driving a BMW M4 and you want a clear bra on it, if you're looking at a shop that, you're not sure, and you find us and you make some phone calls and you're like, oh, they specialize in this and they do all, most people feel quite comfortable with leaving their BMW M4
Sure.
with a shop that
has worked on
when they
that.
pull
Does
in
a
their
P1,
car,
that
yeah,
does
I do the same thing. If you look at
LaFerrari.
my Instagram, most of it is the high-end exotics.
yeah, I mean, so we get people that actually, we have a waiting list for people that says, when you get a unicorn in, call me, I'll bring my normal car. And it may just maybe some of my clients will be like GT3 RSs. Call me when I'll bring my GT3 RS when you have a P1 and you have a 918 Spider, or you have a Pagani, or you have a Koenigsegg. So we call them and say, listen, next week we have a Koenigsegg, we have an Agera RS in, or we have a P1 in. Okay, schedule me that week. And they come in and they just want their car on the lift next to that being worked on.
Yeah.
And they come down, they take a picture of their car in the same shop, and it's the funniest thing. So it drives my office manager bonkers.
I'm sure.
Trying to finagle how to make their car look cool in the shop.
Yeah, it's like
with
being
crazy.
around celebrities.
Do you do any work on location for people? Any special
We
clients?
used to. So
I still get calls for that. Every
our
once in a while.
special client, the one we never say no to, is Jay Leno.
They'll pay.
We do all of Jay Leno's cars. That he doesn't do any of his older cars. Now we've done film on his F1. We did his 12C. We did his P1. If you go to Jay Leno's garage on that kind of stuff, you can see the hour-long special that he did on us wrapping his P1.
Yeah, see, there's a guy that I do work for, but he won't let me post anything. But his initials are RL. Anyway. Anyway.
I know
We'll leave it
that
at
guy.
that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that, but he won't let me post anything. It kind of sucks. 'Cause
Yeah.
It screws us up in the business, and you know how that is.
Yes.
When you get those customers like, don't post anything,
Yep.
I don't want anybody to see this.
We get that all the time, and if
I
you see
do
our
too.
Instagram, you'll see all the pictures, and you're going to see 1 or 2 cars with a cover over them.
Yeah.
And those are our clients that are
They're very
VIP
private,
clients
yeah,
that say,
they're
listen, I don't want anybody to know my car is anywhere. Now we take pictures of the cars and we do videos, and they go, you can do whatever you want after the car leaves the shop.
Right.
Let me get it back to my house or my storage facility and post away, do all the videos. I just don't want the 400 photographers showing up at your shop taking pictures.
Exactly.
So what would you say is the most uber exotic, craziest project you've ever done? It's got to be one that sticks out.
I would say an original 1965 Cobra for Robbie Walton. He wanted to race it one year in Monterey at the Classics. So he called us and said, because he's got a storage facility over in Arizona.
Okay.
So we arranged it through my Arizona office. And he said, listen, I want to race it in Monterey. And I just want the film on. I'm going to do the race. And then when I'm done with the race, I want you to take the film off.
Gotcha.
Hey, kind of a little weird. And
Yeah.
it's all original.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no kit, so we're doing it all custom. And you want me to take it off. So
I've had similar type things where people are like, yeah, I want you to wrap it, then I'm going to use it in a track event, and then I want you to unwrap it and then rewrap it because I want it to be fresh. I'm like, okay, well, give them what they want. But have you noticed that since your business has been so successful, that it basically is, the price is the price, and that's it.
it is, and I do irritate or piss some
Not
people
as
off.
an arrogant selling point.
I don't
just as-
negotiate. I
right.
don't barter. I'm not, and I have buddies that own pawn shops. I'm not a
Right,
pawn
you're not
shop.
one shop, you're not a used
Right.
car
Prices
salesman.
are not negotiable. I
MSRP
don't match
is
prices. If I give you a price for $5,000, you tell me you can get it done at $4,500 in LA.
Good luck.
I was like, have a good time. Call me if you need anything, and that's it. And usually they go,
And then they'll
well,
pay more
can
to-
you work
to
a deal
fix
with me?
somebody
I go,
else's.
yeah. If you pay the $5,000, we have a deal. But I don't negotiate.
What do you think your average price would be on an exotic for a clear?
So a clear bra,
full clear.
let's say a full car. So we just finished a Pagani Huayra, full body clear bra, and that's
And
everything.
rolled
We did everything. Some of the stuff we did, some of the carbon fiber on the inside, it was 15,000.
Okay.
Now compared to
I don't think
a Corvette Stingray, the new Stingray, C7, $7,000.
Right.
So and
It's all on par as far as what I
It's
know.
on par.
It's on par.
Yeah, but what some people and what kind of separates us from the other shops is when we tear down certain cars, I bring in a Pagani tech to pull the mirrors off. I bring in on a LaFerrari, I bring in the Ferrari tech to remove the mirrors if I need something removed. Now when we get that, those are in the unicorns.
Right.
Now on a 430 Scud.
Don't you love working on the LaFerrari?
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Seth
Kind of like
did
falling
one.
off a bike and
Nightmare.
racking yourself
Yeah.
on it. That's about it.
I've done two. I
Oh,
did
two.
one was just the front end. I don't know why the guy just wanted the front end, but that's not my business. I give them what they want. Another one we did a full wrap. My God.
We've done five
That's awful.
LaFerraris. We've done probably 10 or 12 P1s. We've done 3 or 4 Paganis.
I think the LaFerrari is one of the most.
LaFerrari is by
Intimidating
far,
cars to do.
and I don't install anymore. I used to
Right.
actually be a trainer for 3M at the time, and I used to do some seminars and speak at like the dealer conferences and show people how to do it. I've done maybe 8,000 or 9,000 cars myself. I haven't laid film on a car for probably a couple years. So I always laugh. They're like, I want Ryan, like people will post in forums because I've been on, Ferrari chat and all that for, I started in 2001, so what, 16
I'm a
years.
chat member.
They're like, oh, I want, if you go, make sure Ryan does your install. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
you don't want me to do your install or you'll never come back. So, the big thing with the growth of the business is, you surround yourself with just killer people.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my manager, my office manager in Orange County. I've got my business partner in San Diego. The guy that runs my Arizona office I hired him when he was 18.
Really talented these days.
It's an art.
It is. It is.
It's an art and a
I mean, my
lot of
guys-
patience.
My guys is just it's crazy to watch them. I can't do it.
And they take it personally if I come
Right.
over to the end and I go, hey, we need to check this edge, or we have a bubble there, or do that. They get offended.
Pissed off. Oh, I
get
know.
mad, and they look at me and they're like, oh, could you do better? And it's like, just shut up, pop the bottle.
Yeah.
So it becomes a joke, and they know I know how to install, so my bullshit meter goes off quite often.
Right.
Oh, that bumper took us 4 hours. Shut up. I could do it right now in
Yeah.
probably 2, so what was really going on? Oh, well, we had some issues. That's all I want to know. Just cut through the bull crap. Tell me what's going on so I can relay it to the client and tell them what's happening. And when you cut out all the crap, that's usually when everyone likes everything.
Transparency.
It's transparency.
Yeah.
I don't hide anything. If we break something, if anybody says
Oh,
they've
yeah.
never broke anything, is a
they're
liar. We break stuff, but my first call is I don't call this place and that place and try to fix it without them. I call the customer and I say, hey, Mike, we broke the handle on your SV. No worries, it's in stock. We're going over to pick it up, but I want to let you know that we're replacing it with a factory OEM piece. The broken one is here. The copy of the invoice that I paid for is in the car. Here's the price. It's everything I'm paying for it because we broke it. But
Yeah,
just so you know,
there's a lot of people that will hide things.
It's true.
Oh,
I
the car's
don't-
not going to be ready for another week because it's at the body shop, but they won't tell people. But
Yeah.
I mean, accidents, listen, it's all part of the business.
that's it. It's
And like you said, if you say you've never damaged a car, you're lying.
Yeah, you're lying, you're
You
lying.
opened up your business yesterday.
yeah.
What would you say the percentage of your business, because you do regular wraps as well, vinyl wraps?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of just your normal color changes, changing from something to white to a black or to blue or red.
Do you get involved in digital print and commercial
Oh yeah,
stuff?
we do everything in house. So we have multiple different printers, we have the laminators and all the different plotters. So and I've got 2 designers. I have a full-time designer in Orange County. I have a full-time designer at my San Diego office. So I don't outsource anything.
Cool.
So that makes it nice. So like even when we design a wrap for my car, I have one designer design it and another designer, and they're not allowed to talk to each other.
That's cool.
That's it.
Because I
Yeah.
want 2
Want something fresh,
complete
yeah.
separate. I don't want to say, what do you think? Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm thinking of a blue. I'm thinking of red. Okay, well, I'll try this. No, I don't talk. You can't talk about a certain project. Shut up. Give me your design, and I'll pick.
So let's talk about your car. What kind of car do you drive?
I have a McLaren MP4 12C that's had a few modifications to it. We did a full Vorsteiner body kit. And we've done a GMG racing exhaust, custom racing exhaust, and we had a custom tune. So the car is about 705 horse.
Yeah. You know, there's a company now that's doing a tri-turbo.
I know. They've already contacted me.
Oh,
They have,
yeah.
haven't they?
Yeah.
I took it out on a track.
Yeah,
It was
they're
pretty
fast.
good.
They're
Yeah.
crazy fast.
It's really cool.
I'm to the point now where I've got. I mean, granted, I do the rallies where we may do 75 and a 65.
Sure.
Maybe you may add a 1 at the beginning of that, but I'm getting to the point now where if I really want to go crazy, I've got enough friends and people in the industry. I go to the track.
Right.
And that's where, anybody can drive, anybody can smash the pedal and go 200 miles an hour in a straight line. You just don't have to turn the steering wheel. Don't be stupid.
Anybody with a blank check can buy a car. It doesn't mean you know how to drive.
Doesn't
Yeah.
exactly. I've been
I
on many
preach that all the
rallies.
time.
Yeah, this will be my 7th year of doing rallies, and first year I was that rally virgin, and got 3 tickets within the first 2 days. I've never gotten a ticket since.
I guess I've done at least like 4 or 5 rallies with you.
Yeah.
I definitely want to say that his modified car may have taken a 570S last year that I was in on Gold Rush.
It might have. Huh?
Maybe. We'll
Yeah,
see.
so it's fun. I mean, at the end of the day, my wife goes along on the trips, and she never misses rallies. And to say that she is a sport,
Does she yell at you while you're driving?
no,
So
because
she's good about it.
she's very good at. She knows that I won't endanger us.
Right.
She knows I'm not a a-hole driver. I'm very
Right.
I don't do what I call the blind passes where you don't know
No,
what's
no
going.
shoulder pass.
I don't. I take a quick check. I never pass on the shoulder. Do we drive hard?
Listen,
Absolutely.
We
It's a
all,
rally.
we all drive
Yeah.
fast. We all drive.
Yeah, but I don't
Uh,
drive stupid.
We drive aggressively,
Very
and
aggressive.
spirited, but we don't take stupid risks.
I'm not going to endanger somebody else on the road,
Right.
and I'm definitely not going to endanger us. So she won't ride with anybody else because she knows that
She trusts.
she
Right.
trusts me. She knows my foremost concern is we're not going to get hurt, and that's why over the years of the rallies, there's a lot of people that we run in our packs that we the packs
You get
keep growing.
accustomed to.
You get accustomed to a certain driving
style
style,
of
so
driving,
you get
right.
people that come up that can we run with you today? How many rallies have you done? Well, I've never done one before. Okay, you can run with us for a while.
Stay in the
You
back
just
and
you
keep
need
an eye
to
on
stay
things,
ahead of us. I
right.
need to see how you're passing, and we'll stop at gas and we're like, this isn't going to work. Get a couple more rallies. Yeah, so it's a learning. I mean, rallies are different. They're not like everyone, like you said. You can't go pay 10 grand or whatever and go run. And I'm a rally driver.
Right.
You endanger
Because you got a helmet and gloves doesn't make you injured.
Just because you got a black card and a trust fund
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can run a rally and be safe.
That's for sure. What other cars do you have in your stable?
Actually, I'm not a flashy guy.
So what's your daily driver?
Fiat 500e, baby.
Nice. Okay.
That's not bad.
So-
I like
so
it.
I actually-
I had an Abarth at one point.
I love it. I
I
actually
really-
got it. I mean, actually, my daily driver is a M4, brand new. I bought a new M4 convertible. That was my daily driver. I live in Laguna. My office is in Santa Ana, so it's round trip's about 40 miles. And I was just killing the miles on it. And
Right.
a couple of my buddies had those Fiat 500Es, and I'd taken them a couple times, and they were the most fun things to play with. And it basically became a golf cart
It is.
that I
love
could
it.
drive really fast back and forth to the office. And,
Are
it's
you a
awesome.
purist? Are you in the purist group?
No, I'm
'Cause-
not.
Oh, they were doing like a $90 special.
I got
on
it
a Fiat. You go
49. I got that Fiat
$49.99
$49.99 with. So you pay tax on the lease. So my lease payment on that is $55.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Not
they
bad,
include
baby.
parking too sometimes.
And
well, the
towing
$90
3 tows a year because most people forget to charge their cars.
That's
so they'll
crazy.
tow it 3 times a year.
So it's fully electric or is it
Fully electric, yeah. It's got an 80 mile.
Okay,
It's
so
literally
like a smart car, it's only
it's
on
an
the-
inner city
yeah,
commuter
right.
is what it's targeted, but it's just fun. So, other than that, I mean, I've had the R8, which of course we did the full tune and did all that. But yeah, my car becomes new every time I rewrap.
Wrap it, sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't need
That's the
to.
beauty of wrapping. A lot of people don't realize
Exactly.
that. I've wrapped so many cars and people are just, they love it because they feel like they're getting a new car again. And we do. I'm sure you do a lot of the same stuff that we do back home. whether we add accents to a car or we do a lot of powder coating of wheels and things like that, it just completely freshens it up.
Yeah, you'd be surprised of, you've got a silver car and you've got black wheels and you've got silver calipers. Well, you make those calipers red or yellow or a teal or something like that.
Changes the whole.
It's it's a new car, and that's what we try to tell people is, you don't need to go buy a new car every year.
They spend 10, 15 grand and you'd have a new car.
Yeah,
You
or
do a
spend
lot,
do a color change, do $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah.
The taxes you're going to pay on a $200,000 or $300,000 car, I could wrap your car 10 times. So we're finding more and more of our clients that, do they trade in their cars? It may slow them down by maybe a year.
A year or two, yeah.
But they end up wrapping, and now we kind of get, when we do a wrap, if somebody comes in and says, I just want to wrap my car blue, we try to steer them a certain direction, be like, this is kind of a popular, the satin finishes, or matte finishes, or gloss, or reflective films, or something crazy. And they're like, no, I'm not flashy, I just don't want my red Mercedes anymore. Okay, I want a black one. Let's do satin black. You send them down the road, they're happy, it's great. And then you get the guys that come in and goes, oh, dude, my neighbor, we both have Aventadors, or he just came home, I have a black Aventador, he has a black Aventador. This isn't going to work for me anymore.
Right.
I need either to go buy a new Aventador, or you need to make mine look crazy.
Yeah.
One-upping.
It's a very inexpensive option when it really comes down to it. And it also, it's got other values as well. It protects the paint.
Absolutely.
It also, versus painting cars, which really...
Permanent.
Yeah. Paint is permanent, and technically when you paint a car, you're supposed to change the title and the registration on the car, and with a wrap, it's completely temporary.
Yeah, it's temporary.
And, and also on a wrap, which I always tell people, if somebody, God forbid, slams into your bumper or something like that, you can just rewrap the bumper versus having to paint the bumper and blend it into the quarters, and now you have different depths of paint. So there are a lot of benefits to wrap, and of course the advertising benefits when you do commercial and things like that is unlimited.
And most people notice, they're like, oh, you don't do commercial wraps. Well, we do commercial wraps. Doing Joe's Plumbing van doesn't draw a lot of likes and shares and oohs and ahs on YouTube and Facebook. So we don't post them just for the reason that social media we use for, that's my business card. That's my advertising is social media. So
but
a lot of
wraps, I'm sure you advertise, the digital camo and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do some of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of our clients that we do commercial wraps for are our normal clients that we're doing their Aventadors and their Porsche 918 Spiders.
Trucks or something.
And they own 10 companies, and they go, oh, by the way, I didn't realize you do commercial wraps.
Yeah.
Here's my
I just had a phone
Here's
call.
my 20
today.
new Nissan vans I want wrapped.
I have a guy just called me today, and he wants to get his new BMW wrapped. And he said, you do the printed, commercial stuff. I said, sure. He goes, I have 75 smart cars.
Wow.
It's crazy. I mean, and when I say I don't advertise, I mean, do we advertise? Of course, we're on Facebook, and we do some ads and stuff like that. But it's not. We do strictly word of mouth. We've done over 33,000 cars.
I'm sure you find the same, that your customers are your best advertising.
Absolutely.
Because if a guy owns an exotic car, he's not the only kid with the exotic car. And that's what seems to be the best advertising back home, and it is everywhere.
And we used to joke about it, where you get the 15, 16-year-olds or 12-year-olds that would come into the shop with their friends and want to take pictures of the cars.
A couple more years.
And people were like, oh, why do you let them take pictures? I was like, you have no idea how many of these kids have gone home and their mom or dad, and they get the new Lexus or the Mercedes or the Porsche, and they're like, we should do something. Oh, Dad, you need this guy that I went down, we took a field trip there.
And they're going to be driving sooner or later.
And all they do is they go, the dad comes down and he goes, I'm supposed to give you my car and you're putting some clear film on it? And because Michael said I need to get it, and I explained to him, he goes, well, it sounds great. And we do his, and we do his business partners, and we do his wife's, and it's the 12-year-old that came down on a field trip from school, and we let him play with film, and we let him put it on a car, and we let him have fun with it.
Awesome.
So
other type of advertising you do is with the rallies. So you're doing Gold Rush, and now we're on Snowball.
Yeah.
And actually, why I'm bringing this up is because you're driving a very interesting car on this rally.
Are you not driving the McLaren?
No, I didn't bring the McLaren because A, it's lower, and we're
clearance action.
we have a little clearance issue. In other words, if I mean, it's got maybe 3 inches of clearance. So
Right.
to take it on a snowball without a
It's just not
lifter,
worth it, yeah.
It's like a plow.
yeah, it's just not. Yeah, literally, it will be. It's just. I'm a front end loader.
That'd
at
be
that
cool
point.
if you put a plow in front of it.
And if you've seen videos of our cars with Damon,
Yeah.
you know, the founder of Snowball, him and I, and we did it last year on Gold Rush, is outside of Colorado. We went off-roading, and we were picking rocks the size of your fist out of our carbon fiber front ends.
That's no fun.
We didn't care. It's a car. I mean, and I love the whole deal with Damon in that, with the daily driven.
Right.
It's a car. At the end of the day, it's a car.
You buy it to drive it, not to look at it. Otherwise, you buy a Picasso hanging on a wall, you can stare at it all you want. That's how I look at it.
I don't get it. To me, a car is built, and most of the automakers and designers design a car to be built, to be driven.
And in today's market, yes, they can be driven, but many, many years ago, every time you took it out, then it needed to be retuned, it needed to be this and that.
And I'm going to throw a name out there. We all know Lamborghinis used to be called one-a-day cars.
Oh,
You
yeah.
drive them one day, you fix them one day.
Yeah.
Harleys had that saying
Absolutely.
for a long
They
time.
were oil drippers.
Yeah, oil
nonstop.
drippers.
Yeah.
And you know, when Audi, you know, when Lamborghini was bought out and it changed, you know, the new
absolutely.
Huracan
Yeah.
and all that
It's come a
is
long
now,
way.
it's become a daily driver.
Absolutely.
McLaren
Yeah.
570S. My 12C, not a daily driver.
Yeah, the
570S
daily driver.
is a daily driver.
Yeah, Ferrari.
The
458
650S is a daily driver. Yeah, the
Huracan,
Ferrari 488, it's a daily, these cars,
R8's a
don't-
great daily driver.
to this day,
Great one.
worst car I ever sold. I wish I'd have never
Yeah.
sold it.
R8's a great car. I'm about
I
to
love
add
that
one. I have a
car.
rental company. I'm about to add one. I love it.
Love that car. It is the most fun car to drive. It never breaks down.
Yeah.
It's
Just
a
gas and go.
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean,
So tell us, what are you driving on this rally? Let's get back to that.
It's sweet.
Range
Yeah.
Rover.
It's a full Vorsteiner.
Yeah,
Range
so
Rover.
a very good friend of mine is Peter Dam,
Okay,
who
yeah,
owns
from
Vorsteiner. Him and his wife were supposed to come on the rally with us. They had some family stuff they needed to take care of. They're going to join us in Aspen.
Okay.
So we already had his Range Rover that's got the full Vorsteiner body kit on it and all that. So we decided, we went ahead and did the rally, and like I said, they'll join us in Aspen. But yeah, we did beat Damon today on the stoplight.
It boogies.
Really?
Yeah.
It flies,
Dude,
yes.
huh?
So you'll have to ask him for the video as we were at a stoplight. We were joking around and they were videoing and I said, "You want to race
Is
from
it,
the light?"
is it an SVR?
No, it's a full size HSE auto. It's a supercharged.
Supercharged,
It's
right,
supercharged. So we're at the stoplight, revving the engines up. Light turns green, we floor it, and you'll see it on video. I am 2 to 3 car lengths ahead of him in his car.
Wow.
So
Pretty
he wouldn't
impressive.
talk to me tonight when I first saw him. He was so mad at me.
Pretty impressive. So he's got his head in the sand.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh man, I can't believe that thing beat me off the line." I'm like, and that thing weighs 2,500
Yeah.
pounds.
And you had 4 people in it.
And I had 4
it's like
people.
7,000 pounds.
It's huge, and 4
It's a
people,
monster,
4
yeah,
adults
yeah.
with full of our luggage. So I, of course, have to give him a lot of hard time.
I mean,
Absolutely.
he's
I
gonna
can't
edit
see
the video. He's
Yeah.
gonna
I
edit
wanna see
it
the real
out.
footage.
All I'm going to
It's
get
not
at the
gonna
idiot
show
is saying,
it.
"Do you want to race?" And it's going to show him racing.
Winning.
We know that's going to happen, but everybody in the car. all
Everybody
knows.
now knows on the Car Lifestyle Podcast that the Range Rover spanked Damon in a supercharged Huracan.
That is awesome.
Sorry, Damon. He'll lick your wounds.
No, it's awesome. This rally's.
A lot
It's
of
gonna.
good people, small group, we were talking about
The-
that
the
earlier.
small group-
I happen to like small groups on rallies, we talked about
You know,
that.
I've done Gumball. You know, Gold Rush. This will be my 5th Gold Rush. And with us and we're the sponsor for Gold Rush, so
Sure.
we're the graphic sponsor.
I
So
put your decals on a bunch of those.
have you really? Yeah. Oh, I suppose out in New York. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I love the rallies, and that's really it's taken off. I mean, I
It's a
fight.
huge-
Yeah, I mean, I love my
Big
rallies.
market, yeah.
You know, Gold Rush I love, Snowball, and we do the Fuel Run. We do Italian Stampede,
Yep.
and that runs up to
Yeah,
Monterey
they're
every
big
year.
part of America, yeah.
And so Gumball contacted us, wanted us to be the graphic sponsor. Logistically, doesn't make sense. 99% of the time, it's starting over in Europe.
Gumball's tough to work with.
Gumball, that's a 800-pound gorilla.
It's a monster.
Yeah, it's a monster, and I love all the guys, and I'm good friends with them. But it's too much.
Yeah.
There's a point where you have to go, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to bite off too much, and then
Yeah, I mean rallies are a huge market for this industry.
yeah, it is. It's a monster.
It's gotten to be where it's been very competitive with the wraps,
Mhm.
and it was
Right.
never like that. And, historically, when I first started doing rallies in 2009, everybody basically just had clear paint protection, and we put decals on over it, all cut out
Right.
decals, and that was it. And then that evolved into a bit of a competitiveness with the wraps, and it has grown by leaps and bounds where people are more competitive with the wraps than they are about the actual car that they
Look
drive.
at SEMA. SEMA isn't all about the crazy paints.
No.
They call it the wrap show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it
That's
is.
where everybody, that when you want to show off your craziness, you display it at SEMA. And it's gotten, it's
I
okay.
want to ask you one more thing because we're
Yes,
in the
sir.
same industry, so it's
Yes.
interesting for me. I want to get your opinion on one other thing, and then we're going to wrap this up.
All right.
Autoflex. If anybody doesn't know what Autoflex is the new age of plasti dip, which is a newer
It's-
product. It's evolved, and it's a spray-on application, just like as if you were painting a car. I mean, I just want your opinion. I know what mine is, and I'll share that with you.
So, it has certain applications. When they try to do a whole color change on a car,
Yeah.
if it's something that you're going to do it and put it on display for a weekend at an event, nothing wrong with that. But if you want longevity, it's not there. We looked into it. We checked with I won't say names, but
Right.
we checked a bunch of different manufacturers, and they kept wanting us to do their products. They were sending us that and the HVAC guns and doing everything to try to figure out an application for it for full cars. Until they figure out a way to protect it from the environment. And the birds leaving presents on your cars and acid rain and hard water spots. It has a long way to come, but I would say they are now where the wrap industry was 10 years ago. They're just now scratching the surface, and they're finding their place. I like doing it, honestly, if we could get into more, I love the idea of doing door jams
Yeah.
in an offset color. I always tell customers, and this is an industry deal that I always tell, and I try to keep it, if you're going to change your car, so if you're going to change your car color, do your door jams satin black. Then, if you change your color again, you don't have to do your door jams. Again, black goes with every color.
Right.
So if you're going to change your car from white to pink, and you do your jams in pink, when you change your car to another color, guess what you're going to spend the money on? You're going to do the jams again. So the auto dips and flex and plasti dip, door jams are great emblems. Car badging.
Yeah.
Mirrors. Sometimes they're
well, we use a lot of plastic dip for the door jams.
Mhm.
I always tell people, the first thing I tell them is, so you're going to be driving down the road with your doors open?
the gaskets stick to it.
Unless you're really involved in a car show with your doors open on a regular basis, door jams really aren't necessary, in my opinion.
Now,
And then if you're
that's the
gonna do-
difference East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah, and
West
if you're
Coast,
gonna
it's
do
all
door
about
jams-
getting out of the car at the club
Yeah.
and opening up your Ventador, and it's
If you're
not
gonna
white.
do door jams on a 4-door, good luck. Now you got to start removing, 4
And-
doors and everything.
Once again, you've seen our Instagram,
Yeah.
where we have we just finished a Rolls Royce Ghost that it was this really beautiful baby blue, and they wanted to go a really dark blue, and we warned the client. I'm like, I'm gonna post pictures.
Yeah.
You just need, and we showed them your doors are coming off.
Oh yeah, you have to assemble the whole.
Everything's
Yeah.
coming
People
off
don't
the car.
realize what's really involved in a wrap, but we could do another podcast about all that.
And that would be fun
Art
to
of
do.
wrap.
I would love to do something with you, especially. That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
just to sit down, just one on
Yeah, it'd be
one.
fun.
That would be actually a
Yeah, we could
blast.
do that.
That'd be fun.
Because the Autoflex it hit SEMA this year, and people were a little excited about it. But in my opinion, I think it's complete.
Give it 3 or 4 more years, and
You know,
it might be there.
My biggest problem with it is just like paint. They come in with all these crazy colors, and you have to mix them.
Mhm.
So God forbid you have to respray a panel.
It's not gonna match.
Good
Your shades
luck.
are gonna be off.
Good luck.
Yep.
Because it's very rare that you find a manufacturer of vinyl that has a run where the color doesn't match.
Especially from 6. You get a year out, you're gonna have problems anyway. But
Right, because of fading and
yeah,
stuff
because
like
of
that.
fading.
But I'm saying as far as, you could buy a roll of 3M, satin white, today, and you could buy one in a month from now, and they're
It's the
going to be
same thing.
identical.
Yep.
There's no difference whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're going with these crazy colors, because that's what everybody wants. Nobody wants. Matte black's out. That's done.
Yeah, murdering your car is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
been there,
over.
done that.
In fact, we just did one. But,
Yeah.
when you go with these crazy exotic colors, I think it just it changes the whole game. So anyway, we're gonna get this wrapped up.
Awesome.
I want to thank you. For
Wrapped
your time.
up?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Pun on pun.
Wrapped up.
But again, Ryan from Protective Film Solutions, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell everybody where they can find you online, Instagram, Facebook?
It's very
Twitter,
simple.
WhatsApp?
It's on Instagram. It's at Protective Film Solutions, and our Facebook is Protective Film Solutions, and I think our Snapchat is also Protective Film Solutions. We've
Heavily branded.
Yeah, we kind of made it as easy as possible.
You
So
wanted the name.
yeah, we branded the name. So
All right, cool. Well, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Awesome.
Tell us a little about your history and your businesses. And if you guys are on the West Coast, check out Protective Film Solutions. If you're on the East Coast, check out Art of Rap. And Liz?
Yes, signing off, Elizabeth White. You can find me on all platforms at It's White Noise.
And I'm Seth Rose from Exotics Rally. You can find me at Exotics Rally on all platforms, as well as at Art of Rap NY. Thank you.
Car Lifestyle.